Hello, this is Cozy Titan. Today I'm going to be reviewing an awesome Kickstarter game that I recently got called Foundations of Rome. Let's get into it.
To set up Foundations of Rome, you'll first need to put the player board in the middle of the table, making sure that the correct side is up. It's a double-sided board, so this is the 2-3 player board, so the white letters are all the two player spots, and if you have a third player, then you would use the blue, and I think the other side has purple and red, maybe, for a 4 or 5 player game. So after that, you will have to put out the victory point and population tracker board, the deed for sale board, and you'll have to put out the denarii. There's 3 and 1 denarii. Depending on the player count will determine what cards you put in the game. And then you will deal each player 6 cards, and then you will divide the deck into 3 mostly equal piles to create the 3 eras. Then you'll give each player their player board, and this is all the pieces they'll need, except for there are some cubes for the victory point trackers and the population that you'll have to dig out. But other than that, these are all the pieces a player will get. And then each player will get some coins. Starting with the first player will get 5 coins, and then the next player will get 6, and so on, depending on the player count. So once everyone has their player boards, they will look at the 6 cards that they were dealt, and they will mark the deeds on the board that they own. So, for instance, D3, I would put right here, and then I would put G3, and so on. Then you'll put these cards aside, just in case you have to refer to them later. Then you will deal out 6 cards from the first era, and that is the setup. Now on your turn, you can do one of 3 actions. You can take income, buy a deed, or construct a building. The take income action, you will petition Romulus for more resources. To do that, you will automatically get 5 coins. So you get 5 coins. And then for any buildings that you have built with a money symbol, you will also, so this building you would actually get 2 money. So you get 5 plus 2. And that is the take income action. The buy a deed action, you will buy a deed from this board, and you'll see the corresponding prices, 2 denarii, 3, 4, 5, or 4, 6, 8, 10. So the blue player may want F6 because they have a blue one near that. So they would pay 4 money to the bank, and then they would take the F4, and then they would add another blue marker to the board. And you have 8 total blue markers. If there's ever a point where you run out of blue markers, you are not able to buy a deed until you have built some buildings and put some markers back on your player board. Then you'll slide these over and pull another one from the first era, and it will move on to the next turn. Now, constructing a building action, you would actually decide where you'd want to put it. Like, so I could build a 2-size building here, 2-size building there, 1, 1, and 1. So let's take, and I could build several different buildings. So we got buildings that are coins. I could build this 2 building. That'd be every time I take my income action, I can get 1 money for that. I could also do a population building. So if I put this out, I would actually gain 2 population. And then there's these civic buildings, and there's several of those. And these ones are based on what buildings they're next to. So this one would be next to population. You would get a point. This one would be next to any building. You get a point. This one you get 3 points for being next to other civic buildings. And this one's 2 points for being next to coin buildings. So if I was next to, say, this 3 coin building, I would get 6 points. And yeah, and then pretty much all the other ones are just like that. So let's just say I wanted to build a population building. I could do this, and I put this here, and then I would put my population up to 2. And that is the construct a building action. You will continue to do this around the table until the era cards have all been bought. So let me set up what it might look like at the end of an era. I forgot to mention one thing, that once the last card is bought, each person gets one more turn, even the person who bought the last card. Then the player next in clockwise order will start the next round. So now this is what it may look like at the end of the first era. So once you've ended the first era, so this box here shows you what to do for the end of the era scoring. So first, you'll gain money equal to the buildings that you have on the board. So blue has 1 money, 2 money, so they would get 2 money, and actually red has 3 money. So you would take that money, but you would not get the 5 coins that you normally would get at the collect income action. So after that, you will actually score points for your coin buildings, and on your board here, it will show you you get for these 2 buildings, I would get 2 points. So I get 4 points, and I believe blue would do the same thing. So you would score 4 points, and you'd move up the board. So they both would have 4 points for that. And then you would look at the civic buildings. We didn't put any civic buildings out, but I could grab one just to kind of show you. So say this civic building was here, and it's next to this population building and this population building. You get 1 per population. This has 4 and that has 6. So you'd actually get 10 points for that. So you would score 10 points. Obviously that was not there, but or say you had this building out and it was next to these 2 coin buildings, I would get 2 coin buildings, 2 coins times 2. So I get 4 points for that. And then there are other the civic buildings that are based on being next to other civic buildings or next to just buildings. Then you'd move on to the next phase, which would be the residential buildings. You actually score points based on your population. So for instance here, blue would get 8 population plus a bonus, so that's 12 points. So blue would go up 12 points, and then red wouldn't get 4. They would actually get the next player's up's population. So he would get 8 points. So 8 points. And then if somebody had, like, say, 3 or under population, they would actually get 4 because it would go to the next player up's population, and that's what you score. That is the end of the round scoring. You will continue moving through the phases, buying all the deeds cards and putting buildings on the board through all the phases. This phase here, or era, the only thing that's different in this one is the bonus for population is 7. And then for this era here, the bonus is 10. And also a couple other things that you score for this one is you would score for every one of these markers still left on the board, you would get a point. And then for money, you would get the points as normal from your points for your money buildings, but then you would actually add the amount of coins that you would get as points. So you get 4, 5, 6, 7. So that gives you an example of how the last round works, and then whoever has the most points wins the game. And that is how you play Foundations of Rome.
What I like about Foundations of Rome is, number one, I really like the theme. I've been really liking history themes lately. So like trekking through history, as you say, I really love that game. It represented history very well. Same thing with this game. You can just see how it's represented and how you're building Rome. Like you're going to Caesar to get money, and then you're going to build Rome, and it just looks so cool on the board, and that you've accomplished building Rome, which I think is a really cool aspect. Another thing I like is the pieces. The pieces are crazy in this game. If you haven't seen them, that's what most people are talking about. They're big, nice, chunky pieces. They're really sturdy, but they also have really cool art. Like there's literally a statue of a guy that's like really big on one of them, and I think that's really cool. Another thing I like is the box. It's very well engineered where it's really sturdy and thick and you're not breaking it. But it also has these inserts, kind of like Dice Thrones box, where you take out the game, or you take out your board, and that's it. And that's another thing. Setup and tear down are super easy, even though it's such a big game and it looks like a big setup and tear down, but it's really not. Another thing I like is I think the game flows very well and has little steps, which I like. Some games kind of, point salad, you just grab a card. This game, it has 3 different ways you can go, and then there's the big games where you have to focus on a million things at a time. This game, it's perfect because all you're doing is getting money from Caesar, then you're going to buy your plot points, and then you're placing the buildings on those plot points. And usually, like the games that are really hard, like they look really good on the table. They look great on the table. And then when the games get easier, it sacrifices that like epicness on the board. Like Point Salad, it's not the coolest looking game, and it's not the biggest game. But this game did not sacrifice any of that epicness for being as easy as it is. It's super easy game, and it looks awesome on the board. And of course, this game, I've been kind of complaining about too short of games, and of course, games that are too long. And this game meets right in the middle and is probably the perfect time, so I will give it that. It's a great time limit. And finally, it's really important to me that I get to play games with my mom, because she's not the biggest gamer, but she really got into this game for it being such a big game on the board. But it's just so easy, but she can play those really cool big games, even if they're not super hard. So that is really important to me. And you might be asking me, you might not be, but Oliver, do you like this game? Because I just said a bunch of good things about it. And I do. I really, really like this game. As of everything I said, it's like probably a 9.5 out of 10. It's a great game. All right, outro. If you liked this Roman big mini piece review, please smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, and smash the notification bell if you want to see more long-form videos like this, short-form videos, or even live streams. And also check out my link tree where you can find even more. You can find links to my YouTube, of course, my Facebook, and my Instagram, where you can see some more exclusive content that you wouldn't see on this channel. Also, check out my merch store. You could see some comfy merch for the upcoming summer months. Please buy them. I would be very happy if you did. And also check out my Dice Tower playlist, where you can see all the Dice Towers I've been in. Alright, that's the video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye.